When I looked at Tiffany, there was part of her that said, just make love to me right now. And there was a part of her that said, I'm on a lot of chemicals right now. Strange, but it just kind of turned me on.
You were on Rock of Love for a relatively short period of time. You didn't do any of the follow-up shows, but you are definitely one of the most memorable of all the girls because of all of your iconic lines.
Ain't no booty like Southside booty.
Oh.
Ain't bitch no bad enough to step front in my face. Don't threaten me with a good time.
There's always one.
We're there on the outside, those bleachers or whatever they had us standing on. Brett shows up, you recognize him, and then they go through the process of telling some of the girls they could go in the house and others had to stay outside. I didn't know they were going to do that. That threw all of us for a loop when that was happening.
I didn't know what was going on. I thought, hey, I got a VIP pass or something. It made me feel awesome. I was excited.
How did you find out about Rock of Love? How did you end up auditioning for the show?
Actually, I was contacted on MySpace, and they didn't tell anyone from Illinois that it was going to be Bret Michaels. They just said it was an 80s band, a rock music, a musician. They never said who it was. You guys all knew.
We didn't know at first. It took a little bit of time. We knew, I knew by the time that I went to the house to start filming. I knew by then. But are you saying that you didn't know up until he pulled up on the motorcycle?
Correct. I was going to take that. Believe me, if I was thrown off, I was going to go ride that bike around California because they left it unlocked.
All right, ladies. As you know, backstage access is not always granted. Therefore, I'm afraid to tell you, your tour ends here. Your bags are at the top of the driveway. Thank you for coming.
This is fucking ridiculous. I can't freaking believe this. I came here to get my man, and I intend to. I ain't going home.
A lot of the conversation we have here on the podcast is like how much was real versus how much did the producers have a say, manipulate the situation. So when you came and knocked on the door, which was amazing, I'm so glad you did this. You're like, hell no, I'm not going home after all this shit. I'm coming in. Was that something that you decided on your own to do and the producers went along with it? Or did the producers tell you to do that? Or how did that all go down?
Girl, it was a process. I mean, I was like, here's what I'm not going to do. I said, I took time off of work for this. I said, I'm not going back to Chicago. It's snowing there. I mean, it's just like, really? Why would seriously? No, I actually had to tell. I wasn't asking. I was kind of telling them.
Good for
you.
I
was messing around with the microphone because they still had it on me. So I was playing with the numbers or something, on it. And then, I was sitting there with Kim and somebody else. But I'm like, this is a bull crap, that ain't right. You don't send people home once they got there.
Really fucked up. And do you remember we had to sit in the vans in a parking lot for hours without talking to each other before that happened? Did you have to do that as well?
Yeah. The whole process was so slow. They put you at the hotel. It's just kind of they don't treat you like you should be treated. You don't sit there and wait at the hotel for a couple of days. You can't use the pass. You can't do this. You can't go to the gym. You can't go swimming. California, there's not even a balcony. You guys all have balconies that are closed. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was brutal. We were just stranded, prisoners of those hotel rooms. But then sitting in the van for hours and hours in the parking garage of UCLA before.
Who does that?
That was insanity because I just remember I think they just weren't ready for us yet. They got us in the vans too early and we weren't allowed to talk to each other because they didn't want us to get to know each other with the cameras not there yet. And I will never, until the day that I die, forget sitting in the van silent for hours with stranger girls. We couldn't even get out and pee or anything. That was brutal. And then they drove us up and got us all set up. And I felt so sorry for you girls. that they, after all of that they made Girls Go Home. But that makes me so happy, Tiffany, that was your idea to go, fuck this. I didn't do all this for nothing. I'm coming inside. You guys can all go fuck yourselves. That makes me so happy that was genuinely you that put your foot down and not the producers. And I love that you talked them into letting you back in. That's amazing.
There was no talking. I wasn't going to take no for an answer. I was planning in my head, hey, there's a bike. It's on. It's free game, you know. I'm like, I'm going to stay around here. I'm telling you now. And as far as like, if you look at the editing, it was caca. You know, like I had to rehearse that freaking banging on the door. Now, if I was banging on the door, I'd be using my fists. You know, I would be going slap, slap, slap. You know, I wouldn't be doing that. You know, that's not my style. If I wanted to, you know, bang on the door, I'll bang on the door. And then, you know, when I went home, before that aired, I talked to my daughter and everything, and I spent some time with her. And then it came on, and I showed her I'm in the house while I'm physically knocking on the door. You know, because I'm in the house when they're showing me knocking on the door. It's just, you know, little things like that.
So that part was, they had you like go and redo it.
I don't know how many times.
Okay. Wow, that is amazing. That is so, so cool. So you come into the house and the girls, I can't remember how long we had actually been there before you came in. I don't think it was that long, maybe like an hour or so. But yeah, the one thing about that house was they really just were like pushing the alcohol on all of us.
They say alcohol kills germs. Everybody was kind of drunk by the time I got there, so I started drinking to catch up. I'm Tiffany, I'm alcoholic.
And I definitely have had my fair share of being annihilated and too drunk on these shows. But for you, did you come in and you just started drinking with all of us and it just hit you a little hard? We didn't get to eat that day too. I remember that.
Well, you think about it, who doesn't love a drunk girl?
What are you fighting for?
What am I fighting for? Because I got eliminated for fucking Salty. What am I fighting for? Because I got eliminated for fucking Salty. For fucking Salty.
Get over it.
I'm not gonna get over this.
Be a big girl. Be a big girl.
I'm a big girl.
I ain't gonna have it. Don't make me regret it.
Big John, I would have killed the bitch. I swear to God, I would have.
That's what I say.
I'm just saying, who doesn't love a drunk girl?
Right?
I mean, and I didn't I never passed out. Somebody put an article that I passed out. I'm like, I didn't pass out.
No, you didn't.
Like, when I was going to sleep on the couch, instead of those nasty ass IKEA beds, the IKEA bunk beds, I'm like, oh, this couch is better than one of those things. And they were like filming in on me and they put me snoring. I'm like, I don't snore. Hey, Lacey.
Yes.
Are his extensions in that freaking do-rag?
Oh, are you talking about Bret Michaels?
Yeah. Do you remember when everybody's like pieces were falling out and, but he's like, oh, that happens to me. I'm like,
And I feel like some people, want to talk on their cell phones to their boyfriends and say that you have fake hair and disrespect you.
Well, first of all, I spent some quality money on the finest hair extensions Europe had to offer. And so so if you call me out on it, I'm fine, baby. I'm fine, all right?
Because makeup and they really do wonders for him, compared to up close.
Well, I think that from what Bret has said himself in interviews, he does extensions. I sort of give him a little bit of a free pass for that because I feel like there's a pretty severe double standard for guys when it comes to, because like if you think about it, girls can have like fake lashes, fake hair, fake nails, fake tits, fake everything. Like some girls even do their makeup contouring so much that you don't even recognize them with makeup off, But then guys who actually do suffer from like balding issues are expected to like not partake in any of that, So I kind of feel sorry for guys.
No, he got my vote on that.
Did they talk to you about Charm School or I Love Money or any of the other shows?
The first candidate I was there in California and they kept me in that room.
For Charm School?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us about that.
well, you guys were like all on the bus, and then they told me I couldn't go. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why did you? I mean, they did this shit to me all over again.
Wait, so after Rock of Love, they flew you to Los Angeles again from Chicago for Charm School, and then they didn't have you come on?
Yeah.
Get out.
I mean, so that's like
brutal.
the frustrating thing because, hey, I was going to, giddy up and throw on a uniform, I barely packed anything that time, I was like, okay, I'm going to Charm School, I'm like, what do you mean I can't go? But I think they were waiting for somebody to back out. And I was like, the replacement.
Oh, my God. That's insane.
Right? But I was bad, girl. They had a flight scheduled for me that night.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, right. Shit, you guys are paying for this shit. I went out, girl. I went to the beach. I went for a couple of days. I wasn't even answering the phone call because I knew they had to pay for that room.
That's smart. So you took a little mini vacation while you were in California? Yeah. But yeah, you would have been amazing on Charm School. I'm super, super bummed that didn't happen.